in 2008 I got this camcorder. The idea being to take some boating video, because that was my main hobby then. I did some boating for 10 years. Oh, it's marvellous, that's marvellous fun, but it can be a bit of tad boring on your own. And I got it in the main to take Barney in the countryside. That was the whole object of the exercise, and it worked very well. Anyway, this is really the first proper video I did, and it wasn't. I wasn't very competent at editing and stuff, obviously, and so 5 or 6 years on, whatever it is, I thought I would take the original. I haven't got the original footage, but I have got the DVDs with 2 edits of this, so I've still lots of footage of it. So I thought I would redo it and put a new commentary on and see if it makes it more watchable. And what happened was, my boating mate Steve, he likes just chugging along on a boat, and to be honest it's pretty boring to watch, so and it's ever so slow. Anyway, I had 3 trips up the Kyme. Now the Kyme, the Slee, is the old Sleaford Canal, and it's navigable for 7 miles. Now the thing is, it annoys me, this does. It's Lincolnshire's finest natural attraction by a long, long way, and the water's low until April, and then by the end of May the weed grows and it's unnavigable. You know, it's blooming crying shame it is, but that's just my opinion. I think you know me well enough by now. Anyway, I got my first boat, my little Norman, and we had a trip up, and I went through South Kyme, and you know, I could not believe the difference. I've been riding on the road alongside for many years, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s, going to Boston stock cars. I went along there and took no notice of it at all. Well, you can't believe the difference it is just being on a boat in the river, you know, just a few yards away. Oh, I've described it as being the difference between on the earth and the moon. It's absolutely marvellous. And South Kyme, they love boats, and they have a big, not a regatta as such, but they have a big gathering of boats. It's not quite as big these days, but they love boats, and you're made so welcome. You know, it's just a totally different world. Anyway, after going up a few times and really enjoying it, I thought we'd make this video when I got my camera. And so I actually took 3 trips, and this is a compilation of all 3 trips. The first trip was up through the lock, and that's the part you're seeing now, and it's a very slow job boating, it really is. I mean, when you first go up, the first time you go up and you've got to flush the lock and everything, it can take an hour and a half to get through, but you know, that's the joys of boating. You know, it's not you're not going somewhere, you're doing it for entertainment. And so that's what it's about. Now this year the canal was actually closed because they were altering the gearing on the guillotine gate, and as you can see at the moment it is very, very low gear. It took 600 turns to get my boat underneath. God, painful. Now it only takes 300 if I have the same boat. So that's something, I suppose. Also, they were putting new lock gates on. They got a lottery grant, you know, to do the job. So I thought I'd better go up while it was still original. Now that lock was first in use. Sorry, that lock was the first one to be redone in 1986, because there's a plaque on the island, and it's ever so interesting because there was a chap who I knew, who I met, and his father was the lock keeper, and he lived on the island, and all his brothers and sisters, he wasn't, but all his brothers and sisters were born there. So it's actually very interesting, you know. And I mean, making this video, God dear, on your own is so difficult. I mean, I had to go out the lock here. I'll tell you how it's done. You know, I went out the lock, and I had to go back in the lock, get off the boat, set the camera on the bank, go out the lock, back in the lock, pick the camera up, go out again. God, something difficult. If I'd have made it'd be easy. But just took them up on the bank, and that'll be it. Anyway, we're on our own. We did. Now, one of my trips, and you'll see later, the one that's at night. When I'd finished it, I didn't have enough footage through South Kyme, so I went up again, and that's the golf course, by the way. It's a lovely, pretty village. Oh, it's ever so nice. And there's a tower. You'll see it in a moment. And my first ever boat trip, we came back in the darkness, and the sun was turning it orange. Oh, and it's one of the wonders of the world, seen from the other end. You will see it on the return journey, you know. So we're hoping that that'll make it a little bit interesting. But I just managed to get a shot, and look, quite a steady hand then, for me, you know. Anyway, this was my trip with Martin. And anyway, I was going in the village one night just to get some more footage, and there was 2 locals there. And it's quite a funny story, actually. I just stopped and I said, "Oh, do you fancy a boat trip through your village? Have you been on one?" "Oh, no." So they came with me. Of course, I wanted someone to steer the boat, didn't I? While I took some video, you know what I mean? It's a bit selfish maybe, but they enjoyed it. And you can hear them muttering on it at times. So it was alright. Anyway, we did that and everything went according to plan. But there's a very funny story with that. Because my mate Arnie, you might have seen his mini. The video of the mini I did with it. Anyway, he knows a chap that's got the boat, you'll see a little bit further in the video. And
isn't this bit pretty?
Because it's my boat, by the way, it's quite interesting. It's a classic boat, 1960 odd, 62, 1 or 2 I think. And it's a Mevagissey Toshin, a mahogany clinker. Now, I don't know the history of it, obviously, but we can only assume that it was left over because it was a little motor sailor, and someone turned it into a cruiser. There was probably some left, or someone got the plans and did it. Well, then it must have lain derelict of the creek for years, because when I got it, I mean, obviously I found this out afterwards. I wanted the boat with a single diesel, or the engine being put on as a bolt, to be honest. And I managed to keep it running for 5 years, and we did. Oh, thousands of miles. Most boats never moved. And one year, I did 1,300 miles on my own, you know. And I mean, 80% of boats never have the rope untied, and 95% of ones that do untie do 5 to 50 miles a year, you know. So I did marathon, I did. But I enjoyed it all. I'm ever so pleased I did it now. Anyway, I wanted to go up this. Now, that very low bridge we'd just gone through, well, you'll see on the way back, actually, I normally couldn't get under in my boat, and the very first time, at the gathering I mentioned in South Kyme, there was 2 narrowboats went up, full of people, and they said, "Well, go up and see." And the river was at normal level. So we went up. Well, I was just an inch too short. You take everything off the top of the can, of course, you know, it's always... I mean, job it is. It's always, it's fun. It's just fun. But anyway, they all clambered on my boat. I must have had 15, 20 people on my boat. We just scraped underneath, and I got right up into that lock, and I've got some lovely pictures. I haven't got any this time, any video, because with the river being low, it hadn't been raised for summer levels because the canal was thickly closed. So I couldn't quite get into the lock this time. But on my next boat I had, we did, so I've been there twice. Oh, it's a lovely run. The only thing is, the 3 miles from South Kyme is not the best, to be honest. It's, you know, I'm not saying it, well, it's just not the best, that's all I'm saying. You know, if you've got a narrow boat, you've got to go up, and to wind it, that's to turn it round, because you can't turn around because it's too long. But otherwise, there's nothing really to do it. And this blooming low bridge, now, when we're going back to this low bridge, you can hear me comment in a minute. Now, a boat has to stop. It hasn't got any brakes, obviously, so it has to use reverse. Well, Martin was driving on this trip, and that engine, it died. When you were on tick-up, it died.
Don't worry.
Anyway, we got through.
It stopped.
But you can hear
Just
me
pull it
voice,
flat
I'm a little
out
bit
and
tense
it'll start.
at the moment.
Just drive it through, you'll be alright. We'll know if what'll happen. We went through the other way, it'll go through this way.
Anyway, as you can see, we made it, but blooming heck, there isn't a lot of room. There was only half an inch of room. Now there's the tower, look. Oh, it really is a marvellous sight. It's one of the wonders of the world. And it's hidden away there, but you have to see it from the middle of the river. You really do. But it's such a pretty village, and a few years ago they keep it very tidy and they look after it. And I think, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think it got the best village award. You know, the tidiest village award. And the people are friendly, you know, especially on boats. It's a lovely place, it really is. I was very drawn to it. Not like some of the boats you meet. They're ever so pretty. When I first went up, there was like a pipe or something hanging out with that cable. Anyway, after a few years, it was hanging down. It wasn't in the way or anything, you know, but it was hanging down on this trip. And I'm pretty sure this was the night-time trip I did, because when we get back, you will see that it's pretty dark. And as I say, I'm not worried about boating in the dark, you know, it doesn't worry me in the slightest. But some people do, of course. Some people worry in the daytime. Unbelievable. But it's a lovely trip, and I can recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. My friend's got boats at Chapel Hill, and his son's boat will go up there, and he'll gladly take it. He will, honestly. So if ever you want to go up, you have a look at that stretch under the willow tree there. It's, you know, it's just hidden at the back of the houses. You pass through on the road, as I've said, many, many times, and it's just, it's just lovely. It's absolutely lovely. And everybody looks after the gardens. When I first went there, that chap was building that wall on the left-hand side. And that's in 2002. And anyway, it's he finally got it finished. And there's also, it's not on this video actually, but there was always a little dog there running along the back barking at us. It was quite amusing, you know. But there's the road in front, look, where you pass alongside the river. And there's the bridge out of the village. Now that bar is supposed to be set at the height of the low bridge, which is Halfpenny Hatch Toll bridge at Alnwick. And that's the one that stops, well, most boats going. It stopped me going, of course. And on my last boat even, I thought it was well low enough. My mate was with me, and we went under it. Well, there wasn't a lot of room, and if it hit something to the side, we'd have crashed. So, you know, I've said before, boats contact sport. But this is on the trip back. Now this is again on the night-time trip I did. We came well in back, and I'm always in the dark. Always end up boating in the dark. Don't worry me in the slightest. But on the trip with Martin, you know, he's an excellent guitarist, so we had a guitar session on the boat, and I've just put a very short clip at the end of it. Oh, it was marvellous. And if you look at me videos, my very early videos, I put it on as a separate video anyway, and it's also on part 4 of the original Kyme video that I did. So I just hope this is better than you know, we've had before. That's all. With a 5 years experience of editing, it should be better, shouldn't it? We'll have to see. The only thing is with the commentary, I've got to do it on a different computer, and so I don't know how it will turn out. That's another thing. And I'm just hoping, of course, that the computer doesn't crash, because I can't save it and then stick the sound on afterwards, because that will ruin the quality a bit. So hopefully the but it'll always be a little bit better quality. And, you know, be better edited, I'm hoping. Look at Martin winding down. God, that was painful. It really was. To start with, the kids did it, now they're fun, but I think originally it was designed to put electric motor on, but it never got done. You know, I think that's what it was about. Anyway, we'll never know. So if you happen to go up now, you've only got to turn that handle 300 turns instead of 600. I was used to riding handles, though. That was my job at work in the factory for many, many years, so, and my shoulder still knows well. So there we are. You know, it's a lovely, lovely trip, and I just can't express enough how nice it is. You know, and yet so beautiful conversation. There we are.
I like that, you know.
Yeah.
I always do. There we are. Oh, well. Starts to get enjoyable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Want to
you start
crack open a bottle of wine and
yeah, and wouldn't it be nice?
Night, yeah.
Wouldn't it, I'd love to do that.
It'll happen.
It will. Oh, it will.
So I set off in the darkness back to Chapel Hill. That's on the last trip, the one I did with the two people I picked up. And oh, I was telling you one time, God, oh, it was funny. The chap with the boat in there, his wife said, oh, there's been some immigrants up the Kyme on a fishing boat, and they're catching the fish to sell to the friends. Was it? I said. Blimey, Ned. Yeah. Arnie had me on that. It was me. When I took the two locals up with me, the chap with the boat, his wife thought it was, that's who it was, and it was me. So, oh, we've had a laugh over that several times. Anyway, there we are, steaming back up. You know, we're getting on a bit, and here we are back again. And I was on a friend's mooring, well, on Arnie's mooring, actually, at Chapel Hill. So where the video ends, and we're nearly there, that's where I was moored. So, but it was a lovely, lovely time. It really was. And that boat, that classic boat, even though like running all plastic, you know, cars and tractors and everything else, it gives problems sometimes, but oh, I had some fun on that. And it was well liked as well. It really was. You know. So there we are, as I say. You know, the end of a cracking trip. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have.